Hello and welcome back to Trainz Plus. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Now, in the last video, I was giving my first impressions of Trainz Plus and talking about how it is different from Trainz Railroad Simulator, whether it's 19 or 22, and what the whole subscription model gives you and where Trainz is going to be going from there, and of course the fact that they had released an Xbox game of Trainz. I think it's called Trainz World Tour or something like that. But anyway, in today's video, as I mentioned at the end of the last video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Surveyor, specifically Surveyor 2.0, for the very first time. Now, I'm going to preface this with the fact that I have used the Surveyor before. We are talking about, and properly anyway, not just jumping into it and seeing what it looks like. The last time I used the Surveyor would have been 2007, maybe 2008. So coming up towards 20 years that I have not use the Surveyor. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at one of their old routes. So this is the Settle and Carlisle route, a fantastic route in Britain, but I believe it is woefully outdated. So I'm going to be taking a look at it and using it to show what the Surveyor 2.0 does, my first look at Surveyor 2.0, and also seeing if there are ways in Trainz Plus, and therefore probably in Trainz Railroad Simulator 2022, to actually update the route. Now, I know it's going to probably need some modelling as well, some new textures and all of that kind of stuff, but whatever I can actually do, whatever I can retexture in today's video, in perhaps a small area, so for example the Craven district, I'm going to try and do. And let's just see what that brings. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started, and let's also talk about a couple of gripes that I've found with Trainz Plus at the moment. One that almost made me not make this particular video. Okay, so before we actually go into this Craven District route, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you this. So I could go to download station, and it brings up everything that I could potentially download. Now, let's say I'm looking for something specific. Let's go Victorian. Let's say a Victorian house or something. The thing that made me look at this and think, is it really worth me making a video on this, was just the sheer time it takes for it to scan its database. Now, I understand that there are thousands upon thousands of assets available, but this is quite long, as you can see. There it goes, we've got it. Now, the second problem I have is everything is just a blur, because these thumbnails are, well, exactly that. They're thumbnails for these tiny little boxes. They're not exactly, it's not useful. It really is not useful. This is also something that perhaps needs to change, and I do know that they're working on the UI, but we have a UI legend here. Not exactly the easiest of legends to understand. Green makes perfect sense. Orange sort of does, and I would say that the white really doesn't, and the blue really doesn't. That should perhaps be red or something along those lines. Anyway, that was one of the things that was something I was trying to figure out, and thinking this is taking a very, very long time. Once it's done the search, as you can see, once it's done the search, it isn't too bad. So that's a better quality picture. In terms of finding things, it's just that it seems to take a long time to search. So it's as if it isn't in slightly more technical terms, it doesn't seem to be paginating. And that is what I think is catching it out. It's just deciding to try and poll the entire thing in one go. So yes. Anyway, so that's one of the things that I found concerning. And the second thing I found concerning is if I go over to this, I was downloading something. Here we go. This has been downloading for the past 10 minutes now. And it's only done 3.2 megabytes. That is pitifully slow. If it was, a megabyte, no, not even a megabyte a minute, it should be I think even at slow speeds, it should be something along the lines of at least 500 kilobytes a second. If not 500 kilobytes every couple of seconds. This is doing it at 4 kilobytes a second, which is incredibly slow. No, at least it does that so it doesn't accidentally stop. But yes, I've been looking for a couple of assets to see if there is anything I can put up. So for example, I could search up, I don't know, UK, and let the search go, and as you've seen, it is going to take a while. A few things that also make this very difficult to use is that I can do that, which is nicer. Oh, that was faster. So I can do that, which is nicer. I can also do latest modified, so if I want the newest stuff. However, one of the things that I cannot seem to do is see the date that any of these were actually built or created or uploaded. So I cannot see if this modern UK platform One Edge is from this year, last year, the year before, or 10 years ago. And it seems that when I change this, did that actually change something? That actually appears to have changed something. Sometimes this does not seem to change much. That might have actually... Wait, no, now it's taking me right away to the... Yeah, so there you go. So those are my concerns with that. And you can see, for example, I have no idea how good or bad that is. It would be really, really nice to be able to see that. Anyway, those gripes aside, as you can see, I'm trying to buy time for the last 100 kilobytes of... No, don't do that. 100 kilobytes of that to download, because I wasn't expecting it to take that long to download. Here's another one. It says part 1 of a big map. I have no idea. And it doesn't tell me how big it is, so I could attempt to download that. It looks, from this tiny little thumbnail or this low resolution picture, it looks like it has some modern textures to it. I really do not know. So yes, these are concerns that I think need to be addressed. Of course, I could search up, I guess, British. There we go. Actually, now I'm going to try something. If I do that, does it speed it up? No. That was just luck. As luck would have it, that did that. Now, so I believe Blue is installed? No, needs installation. See what I mean? I have no idea. Automatically assigned running numbers, animated brake hoses. Okay, cool. That's something. But I have no idea how long that would take to download in particular. And this just appears to be from the download station itself. If you're downloading things that are not on the download station, it appears to be fairly fast. Right, that's a lot of British Airways aircraft. Not sure all the aircraft would be for. And then, of course, you get to see some of these that do look really good. So, for example, these look incredibly well done. So this is clearly up to modern standards. These ones, whoever TCWW is. I can't actually, I've been trying to figure out how to zoom in or anything on this, and I cannot. That one's a little bit worse for wear. And then again, back to these things that are installed, but because they're not rolling stock, it just doesn't show up like that. These ones are a bit flat. But obviously all of this will be put onto, can be put onto a railway, or does exist somewhere on the railway. Is that done? Please tell me you're done now. Okay, you're done. Right, let's go ahead and get into, so installed, routes, go away. I think this is me messing around with these, trying to get the surveyor working. So let's delete that route and delete that route. Let's go to that. Craven District. Let's press edit route. Now it doesn't take too long to load. Of course, it isn't a large route, and it's pretty old. And this is the surveyor. And you can see that this route is very, very old. Now, knowing my old surveyor controls, I know that I can drag around with the right mouse, and I think, is it rotate with the arrow keys, and I can look up and down like so, which is pretty good. That's easy enough. So we have a turntable. We've got some tracks. Some very old, as you can see, very low quality, low resolution scenery here. The wall is very tiled, but it isn't the worst. Let's have a look at the buildings. Take a close look at the buildings. The buildings are, I would say, are pretty bad. Looking at that building there. But it does appear that this has some sort of weird tessellated gravel, which actually looks bigger than it perhaps should be. So I'm going to be trying to see if I can fix any of this, and seeing how difficult it is. So for example, that appears to be a road. Yep, that appears to be a road, and that road looks pretty bad, whilst this road looks okay-ish. This road actually looks fairly good in quality. I'll go into walk mode. Maybe not so much. But there we go. So just giving you an idea. Trees are, do you know what? The trees are all right. Do they rotate around with? No. The trees appear to be all right. In fact, the trees are of far higher quality than everything around it, as you can see. So let's see if I can improve any of this. That's my test of the surveyor. So what do we have available to us? We have, so on the left-hand side, we have ground textures, scenery mesh, splines, tracks, signals, trains, and presets. And then so what if we go to ground texture filter, does that do, oh, okay, that's just another way to split between them all, or swap between them all, that's fine. And then we have things that are installed or what have you. Okay, great. So that's that. Then we have layers. Now, all those years ago, I never saw layers, so I have no idea what these layers are all about. So we've got ground height. And, oh, then that changes the tool to a brush tool. So it looks like that tells me that I can... Right, that layer allows me to, I assume, adjust the height of the ground. I want to do this sort of out of the way. Let's do it. Let's do it right here where some of the baseboard is showing. Clone, yes. Root cloned, great. Ground height, there we go. Yep, that works. Can I undo things with Control and Z? I can. That's good. So that's useful. So we have that. So brush tool, that gives us options. So we've got ground height up, height down, set height and grade, and then radius, height, sensitivity, grade, angle, rotation scale, intensity. That's pretty good. Then and a color as well as a shape of the. Well, this appears to be just circles at the moment. It's grayed out, so I'm assuming that it does not work for that particular thing. We then have a placement tool, which I assume is to place assets. We have an eyedropper tool, so that should tell me what these are. So for example, that is W long grass. Doesn't look very long, but that is what that apparently is. Dry stone wall, etc. Free move tool, I'm going to assume that's going to allow me to click. Yeah, I can click on one of these and start moving them around. Fine. What's that? Fine adjustment tool. Okay, let's click on that again. That it gives me some differences. Looks like that's just for rotation in this case. So, oh, I understand. Okay, the fine adjustment tool just allows me to, it just shows up some gizmos to do it. And then this looks marquee tool. That makes sense. Quite easy to use, quite understandable. Information about whatever you've selected. So that's important as well. How do I deselect something? Escape? No. Do I have to click it again? Click it again. Okay, that's pretty good. Then we've got scrapbook. I have no idea what this scrapbook is, but we have a prefab here, but apparently for a couple of things. I have absolutely no idea what that scrapbook is all about. So what am I going to do? Well, let's see. Let's start with this field here. Let's just as a test bed. So this field is a test bed for textures. Let's go have a look at textures. And realistically, I want to convert whatever this is. So that's that long grass. I want to convert that into some sort of high quality grass. That is what I want to do. Maybe that. What is that? Burnsdale grass? Is that how you pronounce that? Let's see if I can find that. Did I spell that incorrectly? No. Maybe that doesn't show up. Could be one of these effects layers. I know, let's just look for grass. See what we can find. So we have dead grass from Trainz 12. Let's make this a little smaller. If I move this around, does this... It doesn't give me the height of these things, but I'm going to assume it isn't going to adjust the height because the height is, it's grayed out. Let's put that in. Okay, now that immediately is actually better than that grass. So it looks like this is from a long time ago. That just immediately looks better. It's not even grass, and it looks better. So there we go. Now we can adjust the scale, we can adjust rotation. Intensity doesn't obviously work on this, and sensitivity to actually building it, so things blend in a lot nicer. In fact, that blending is a really nice thing. And the thing about the Surveyor is that I do not know of any other train sim that has a mode like this. And I think that it is something that Trainz does really well. Right, so what this is telling me, I'm looking at this grass, which has a really weird shadowing. And I think this has got to do with the lighting in... I think this has to do with the lighting in Trainz Plus. But that shadowing is really weird. So an odd normal map, giving it that. But that grass looks better. And it's like lawn grass. In fact, it's a bit like this. Let's see if I can find something else. Grass mid-ground. That was grass long. The standard one is grass long. So let's have a look at this. Now, it's still tiled. I know they've been talking about things not being so tiled anymore. That does look... does it look better? It does. It does look better. There's got to be a better one than that. Bit of rocky grass. I can see where that would be used. Oh, and then that is back. That is that with a different angle. Okay. PBR grass. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Oh, that's actual grass. Or it looks much more like actual grass. It's a bit odd. Maybe a little bit too intense, potentially. But it does look like better grass. Okay, let's see what else we can find. Maybe I should be looking for PBR grass. What's this one? And this is the thing about Surveyor and having a look at it for the first time. I have no idea what to expect. I like the texture of this, but it's a bit flat. Everything here is a bit yellowy. I have noticed that. Might want to put a bit more colour into this. Let's look for PBR grass. Let's see what we find. PBR grass seasonal. What do we have? That's a bit bright. PBR grass 2. That's what we had before. Now see, that to me seems like the natural continuation of that. Although this could be a natural continuation of it as well. Let's make the sensitivity 100% just so that I can very quickly, get this up and running instead of wasting too much time. Right, so let's try something. I'm going to convert this. So how am I going to do this? I guess I just have to... This does take time, it seems. I'm going to be a little bit rough with this, I guess, because I don't have 3-4 hours to show you this on a video. I just want to show you some of the capabilities of the Surveyor. And this seems like a good start. That's not bad. Okay. So that's a start. It doesn't matter if the grass goes off towards the track at the moment. I'm going to fix that in a bit because I think I can get better ballast as well. So I'm going to have to look into that. But I thought I'd start off with this because it seemed like it made the most sense. So I'll do that, and maybe, I don't know, this area here as well. Some cows out, so is that cows, I think, in the field? Clumped together. There we go. Along there, let's just build it into, so once you start doing this, it's I guess it's like any art. You want to do base layers first. In a lot of art, you just want to put the base layer down and then start refining beyond that. So, for example, I'm going to do this. I could say this is maybe the time of year where, I don't know, the wheat gets cut or something. So I know that the trees look like late autumn, but maybe we'll go more early autumn and say here, this is where we've got wheat being cut or about to be cut, so the harvest, and we've got a lot more in the way of yellow or something like that. Now I could I could also look at satellite footage of this area and work from there, but I'm not going to. I just want to get this sort of running and say, look, we've made some progress. Interesting what's happened to the turntable there as well. In fact, I might just turn all of this to gravel ballast or something. So there we go. That's some area completed in its basic guise. And that probably will look better than what it was looking like. There you go, that does that. And let's just go in and have a look. And indeed it does look a lot better. So that grass it has been cut. I would say that the scale of it looks a little bit big, but it does look somewhat better. Better than that. So from that to, oops, whoa, I've gone way into the distance. From that to that. That's a good start. In fact, that blend there just gives you an idea of what it was. I'm sure there's probably better options as well. Like that one actually doesn't look that good. Like that, potentially, or no, that's terrible. Or even, actually, I know what that one could be used for. I think I've just found a potential use for that one. Can I rotate this around a lot? That's too much. That's too much. 112 degrees, 115. There we go. That's a bit more like it. So that sort of gives that a little bit more of a view. Scale 0.001. Oh, apparently this is the smallest scale. That could be an issue. Really? That also could have been better grass than what we've used, but it's fine. Absolutely fine. Not something to be concerned about. Ground grass, rubble grass. There's lots of grass. So I'm not fussed about that. Let's just look for PBR. PBR. Let's look for something else. I want to see if there's maybe fit. I mean, that's just perfect, right? It's a little bit small. Let's try and make that somewhat bigger. 5%? 10%? Oh, okay, it's getting there. 20%. 100%? Oh, well, okay then. 100% it is. Oh, that's a massive difference. That really is a massive difference to part of this. So you can see just how easy it is to start building these things up. I think that's quite cool. Let's go ahead and try to make the radius 5 meters so that I can get in towards the corners. This is like what I do in Transport Fever, really. Same sort of concept when I'm doing the detailing. There we go. So that's something. I think I could spend a long time looking at this tool, Surveyor tool. It does. One thing I will say is the blending is a little odd. I was expecting it to be able to blend better than it has. Oh, maybe I should change this entire one. Let's get the right angle for this. 90 it is. Let's go down here. 1 meter. Try not to get it to blend. Oh, it still does. So it's weird because I thought there was a smaller. I thought there was a smaller radius of something where it wouldn't actually. You could have textures where they wouldn't intersect like this. Maybe I've got something wrong. There is potential. Always potential for me getting things wrong. So let's just do this little bit here. And then after that, I'm going to see if I can replace a road or something, and then maybe a track, and see what happens. I'll just do along this. It does seem like, am I missing something? This doesn't quite do what I want it to do. Interesting. I was hoping that I would be able to build this up to the edge. But, oh dear. There's some weird things happening with the road as well. Oh, I'll have a look at that. So it looks like it still does have a tile of some sort. That's for sure. That's fine. I'm going to keep going because I want to see what the outcome of this is at the end of it all. It does seem like it has a weird tiling routine. Interesting. Very interesting. I thought there was a 0.125 meter terrain or something. This is Surveyor 2.0, right? Or have I done something wrong? Display menu, show interface, camera menu, no, sharing menu. So you can build this, Surveyor 2.0. You can build this in multiplayer. That is one thing you can do, which I think would be an interesting thing to do if you've got people. Given how long it takes to create a route, it would make sense to want to build this in multiplayer. I mean, it's taken me half an hour or so just to figure out what textures I want for the fields. And yes, okay, I am learning the interface, and as I get faster at it and better with the interface, I'm sure things will speed up, but still. There you go. Now that does look so much better. How do I switch that? There we go. That does look so much better than, maybe not from that height, but certainly, right, you're on the railway here. Or actually on the railway just here. That looks reasonable. Okay, admittedly the wall is now a bit weird, so I need to figure that out, but there. I am. Get on the railway. Get up the railway. Okay, don't get on the railway then, just sit on the side of the railway. Things look better. And that's what I want to show. Let's go ahead and go over to the station. Let's see if I can get some, I don't know, ballast or something. Looks like we do have ballast. Let's bring it down to 10 meters and see what ballast is available. That's probably better than this weird one we have. Although this is a flat texture. That is not a flat texture. I think the scale needs to be about halved. There we go. It's a little bit better. Ooh, what's that? VR. Oh, is that this ballast? I think that is this ballast, but it's looking better because actually it's slightly lighter. But it's looking better because it's a better size. Like this one seems a little too large for what it is. So that is looking quite a lot better. So for example, I'm just getting this whole area done. Maybe ballast right around the edge. I do have some weird, maybe someone can tell me how to potentially fix some of these issues I'm seeing. Again, this could be me. It could be Trainz. It could be me, but we have absolutely no idea at this point. I would not be surprised if it's me at this point for this stuff. See that looks fairly good. Look at that. A much better track ballast over what we had. Maybe I can do some height adjustments in places to help. Maybe that will fix some of the issues that I'm seeing. Now, obviously, I cannot fix the house because that would involve me having to model and texture a new building, and I'm not doing that. I'm not that vested in Trainz. Or even though I want to see a Settle Carlisle route in modern Trainz because I think that would look great and it makes sense. It's an important route. But still, there we go. Okay, that's some amount of ballast fixed up and looking pretty, I would say that looks pretty modern, pretty good. Even though we have some issues with, oh, I think I see what the issues are. So it's something to do with the blending and the mix between these 3D or tessellated models and sort of textures, should I say, and the non-tessellated ones. I think that is what is causing the problem, or the problems. I'm just going to turn all of this into some ballast. There we go. Okay, looking better. Now I would say the track itself looks out of place. So this is why I downloaded one of those tracks. So let's go ahead and go to track. And I think I got a PBR track, did I not? It was Bullhead, wasn't it? Let's have a look at which one. Here's one. One with no ballast. Now, to place track, all I have to do is just do that. I'm going to place this track here because I want to see what it looks like. Is it any better than this track? It does seem a little better. I mean, color-wise, these look a lot rustier. Now, one thing I do not know how to do is change these. So I have, oh dear. No, escape. I have no idea how to, nope, try that again. I have no idea how to click this, and what does that do? Paste, delete, replace. There we go. Okay. That's a good tool. I'm going to give credit there. That is a good tool. So I can select an asset and say replace spline with selected asset. And then see how that compares to that. And honestly, none of them look very good. So I suppose my next option would be, I say that does look better than that. What other options do I have? What's this one? Not a good one. What does that do? Smooth ground under. Settle under. Hold on. Okay. Edit details. This is good. I'm seeing some promise here. And then, of course, if I were to do the eyedropper tool, this is track 60 foot BR standard. That's the track I've got. So let's go BR1. That's what that is. So it is an old track. This is British Rail standard old track. This is newer, well, this is bullhead track. Let's go PBR and see if there are any PBR tracks. There's this one. What does that look like? Well, the problem with that one is that despite the fact that it looks reasonable, it actually doesn't look great. So I will point that out. No, actually, it looks pretty good. It's not exactly what I'm after. Also, where on earth is my track from the download station? That's what I want to know. Because I'm sure I downloaded one. I did it. I cannot. Why can I not find it? Well, that's rubbish. Or maybe I have to enable it. Let's have a peek. It says all 370 enabled. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and delete this track anyway, because we don't need it. What I'm going to do is I am going to look at... Oh, is there anything that says UK? Let's try and make... I want to see what tracks we have. What does that look like? That's old and flat and horrible for today's standards. Don't do that. Okay, no, stop that. Do that, click that, replace. No. That's just that. I think we might be looking at these. That's rusty, right? Yep. And that's all there is. That's literally all there is. That's a little unfortunate. Oh, hold on. What if I were to replace it with some other track? Oh, but they do not look British in the slightest. It looks very good. Oh, it looks fantastic. but it is not British. So now the question is can I find one that would look British? And the answer might be yes, because if we have a look at this one, so what does this track look like? So we've got these hooks on the outside, and then this one is sort of, potentially, that could be. The only problem is those are very close to each other, which in Britain we do not have that. They're normally a lot further apart. I have no idea what that one is. They do not appear to be working very well. That's no good. That's what we've already got. Those are bridge assets. ProTrack probably have some pretty good ones. Well, that's just, of course, that's just the rails. I saw that. One track fabricated, what? Oh, that's not great. That's not great either. This is what you have to look through and try and figure out what you want. And once you've figured it out, of course, it's so much easier. But it would help if you could, for example, say, no, I would like no tracks that were made prior to 2017 or something like that. It's narrow gauge, isn't it? It definitely appears narrow gauge to me. Oh yeah, it's narrow gauge. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change out the tracks for some basic bullhead tracks, just for now, just to show how these things work. Even though I've been doing a bunch of this, I think instead of wasting lots of time, I can do that. Stop that. Some of these tracks are very highly detailed, and some of them look like that, which is not exactly what I'm after. But we'll have to see. More US track. It's just a bit too close. That's the issue. If those sleepers were not that close, I may have been able to get away with it. ProTrack. Again, high quality, really high quality track right there. Look at that. That is fantastically high quality track. That's the kind of track we need. But again, alas, I'm going to go for the bullhead track. Which one was it? So what I'd do is I can click on that. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, this is going to take forever. If I were to go ahead and start doing replacements like this. And I've just realised there's just barely any difference. I've just put these two next to each other. And in terms of texture quality, well, they're pretty much the same. Well, that's a bit rubbish. All right. Well, I guess the tracks are not changing. Let's go ahead and take that again and change it back. There we go. At least I'm starting to get used to the interface and how to use things. Right. Let's have a look around at other things. I did say I wanted to try and change perhaps the road. So this is definitely a spline. Let's go ahead and find road narrow. Let's see what narrow. It's dirt road. Let's see what the dirt road does or how that looks. In all honesty, it looks pretty decent. And I think I know where I'm going to be replacing those. That's not the road I'm after then. I want road narrow. What's... Oh, grab that. Replace. Oh, well, we're exactly back where we started. That's not what I'm after. This one, road narrow. Select. There we are. The quality change between that and that. Yep, that works for me. So, let's say I wanted to change quite a lot with road narrow, and obviously things are looking a bit weird. Let's go over here. That's a lot of road. I'm going to be guessing that I can change this by using... Can I do multi-select? Control and... Nope. Shift? No. Oh no. I've just dragged that around. Okay, that's how you drag things. That's still how you drag things. Marquee. Oh, that drags... That does a lot. Maybe... I don't know how to do this. Shift does it. Okay. Can I do that with that tool as well? Yes, it's just clicking in the right spot. So if you're manipulating things like this, that is how you need to do it. And so let's go from this horrible road to that, which is definitely a better quality road. Definitely a better quality road. So then I can do that, and then this one, I can do shift and click. Let's go up to the top of this. Get the middle bit. There and there. And nope. Oh no. And there. There we go. Well, this one goes quite a distance. That. I suppose I do not need to go all the way, but it's fine. Oh, there's another one that goes out here. That's not a problem though. With all those bad roads, I wonder if there's a change everything one. Right, so I can just go to that and say, oh no. Selection filter, no, that's it. How does that look? Much better. And then smooth, settle on ground. Can I do that? Can I have these all settle on the ground? Maybe that works. I have no idea. But there you go. That is definitely an improvement of what we have. Yes, this isn't great, but it is an improvement. Definite improvement. What else could we look at improving? This wall. Let's try and find a wall. Brick wall, stone wall. Stone. Okay, let's find out what this one looks like. Appalling. This one. This one. This. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. It's not doing. It's not transport Fever 2, remember that. You have to click each one of these. Is that all there is? Oh no, wait. That's not all there is. There are loads of walls. Stone wall. Here we go. That's pretty high. This is cobblestone, and is that? I don't know. I think it might be. Isn't this supposed to be a spline? Why is that not splining? Oh, that's a better wall. It's not exactly the same. Why are you not splining? I'm confused about that. This one has condition as well. That's new. Spline? No? There. That's... Okay, well, that would take a while. But that is a much, much better wall in terms of quality, I think. Let's have a peek. So we'll look at that. Yep, that's a wall. Let's look at that. Oh no, it's a similar quality. I take that back. I will take that back. No, go away. Go away. Stop and go away. Okay. So that's probably not what I'm after. We're looking for PBR walls or something. Cotswold stone? No. Dry stone, no. That's wall. That is exactly that wall. So no. It's a granite version of that wall. No. Well, this is a bit of a faff, I will say. Of course, it takes time to figure out. But I would rather be able to just filter out. So it says here filtered lists. And then I can go, there's a way to do this. I know there's a way to do this. Some of these are very rubbish. Others are decent. That's potentially decent. But some of them are really poor. Okay, well, I'm sure we can come back to the walls. And the last thing I want to try is this. I've been looking at this effect layer and root layer, and I want to find out what these are. So what would happen if I hid that? Oh, I see. Right, so that is how you build different things. Good. I understand. There's no effects layer. Ground texture. Well, let's bring in an effects layer. Turf effects, clutter, water, color. Let's look at turf effects. Let's call it turf, since I was talking about turf this whole time. Rebuilding. Okay. Turf effects is only rendered in one window at any time. Effects will reshow in the 3D world when this edit dialog box is closed. Okay. What? Add a new effects layer. Get an effects layer. Grass curved long. Wait a minute. That means... Does it show? No, maybe I have to paint it. I've just realised what that does. I have not realised what that does. No, I have. I just got the wrong... Right. You. Grab that. Oh. Paint. No. Paint. I get it. I get this, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. And I can see the turf being... Right, let's 20 meters. This is going to kill my computer, I think. Yep, I can see the turf. Okay, not the greatest first look overall, but I think I'm getting somewhere. It does show the possibilities, but I think you have to, if you really want to update routes, you probably need to know things like 3D modeling, texturing, and the like to bring in new versions of old models or something. I'm just going to do this in this area and see what it ends up looking like. It could be terrible, but I want to see. Wonder what clutter does as well. I'm going to add another effect group for clutter and see what that brings to the table. There you go. There's something here now. Now, how does this all look? Let's go. I don't know. Do that and just zoom in. Oh, that's grass. That's actual grass. That looks great. Apart from that, the fact that it's in, like, some of the places it's in is a bit wonky. So, for example, I'd probably want to set the intensity to 0 in this area. Let's make that 2 meters or something. Yep, that would make sense. So I'd probably zoom out and say, there you go, this area, 3 meters, 4 meters. 4 meters probably better. I remember something about 4 meters. There we go. So that it doesn't actually get in the way of the railway itself. I'm going to try that smoothing thing as well that I've noticed. So let's do that. Okay, this turf effects is useful. Very useful indeed. There we go. Because that gives this a look. Ooh, come on. That gives it a really good look. Okay, admittedly, I haven't managed to get rid of all of it. But let's just go right there. That is a big difference between all of that, which is actually longer grass than I thought it would be, and everything else. That's a really big difference. And just looking at it here. So you have the underlying texture, which is that, plus this grass. Yeah, I'm starting to see some goodness in this. Some use. Never ever tried turf effects before. Wasn't a thing when, well, all those years ago. Okay, let's try something else. I don't know. Let's make another effects layer. I don't know. Turf clutter. Let's call it clutter. I don't know. Ooh, preset custom. Interesting. Flowers. Okay. Foliage. Bark. Interesting. Fallen branches. Oh, is that all there is? No, grass outback. Can I maybe bring... There we go. That's what I want to do. Plants, rocks, flower. Let's just throw flowers in and see what that does. I'm just going to dump some flowers. Oh, I don't know. Let's dump some flowers down here, shall we? Nope. Oh, set intensity, no. It's going to be increase. Huh. Just some flowers. Nothing too intense. There, a little meadow. Actually, they look quite all right. Could add that into this. Yeah, there we go. Just random scattering and a smattering of flowers. Ta-da! Oh, this I can see myself using a lot if I were to create routes. So again, this I suppose is the detail part. That's what this is. You add the detail in here, and I'm still trying to figure out how you use this scrapbook. Absolutely no idea. I'll have to have a look at a tutorial for that. Okay, so I think that's probably I think I've probably cut a few little bits out here and there. That's probably a fair look at what this can do. As I said, I think that the best way this is going to improve, I think, is going to be just people, the community, or Trainz developers themselves. One thing I did want to do was this, didn't I? Trainz developers themselves just saying that. So smooth ground underselected. There we go. That actually worked. Did that? No, go. I mean, okay. Before I continue what I was saying, this just shows a difference. So here we are, like this. Yep, we're in the past. And yeah, okay, I haven't quite got that right, and now we're entering the present. There is a marked difference between that and my 1 hour of messing around here. There is definitely a difference. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put tornado up on this, just because I want to see it sitting, I don't know, on this track here. There you go. You sit there. Your tender can sit there. How do I move you? Oh wait, it's just drag, isn't it? Nope. I'm sure it's just drag. Yes, it is. There you go. Oh, that has lights as well. It's got rear lights on it. Okay. And oh, why did I not just do that? Never mind. You get deleted. You get deleted. There you go. Just to see how that starts looking. And when you do look at the Surveyor when you actually spend some time building this up, how do I get rid of the HUD? I don't know. There is a way to do that, isn't it? Show interface, control space. When you do spend some time looking at the Surveyor and working on it, when things start looking like that, you think to yourself, actually, that's starting to look right. I'm actually now that I've done that, I want to fix some of this a little bit more. Set intensity 0, please. Oh, okay. Decrease intensity. 4 meters. Look over the top. Just clean this up. And I am actually going to put the flowers in now. Wonder what other things are available. just as a reminder for those of you who have been watching through all of this, this is a first look for me. I don't know much about this new Surveyor or anything like it. 3 meters, please. Why does it not like the 3 meters? I'm a little confused about that. Doesn't appear to like the 4 meters either. Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll put this on like so. And then I guess I can do a bit of a delete in the middle. I still have to figure that out, because it doesn't seem to, it seems to remove things in clumps, and I'm not all too certain why that is. It's doing it in that fashion. Because otherwise they're getting in the way of the track bed, and that's not ideal. Get rid of, there we go. See, now that's going to remove pretty much everything I've just put on, which is silly. It does look better. There is definitely progress here. Yeah, it's really weird. Really, really weird. I have to figure out how this is being made and used. So if I cannot work that out, it's not going to... Yeah, now it's just removed everything. That's rubbish. And go back to the turf one and just remove some of that there. Come back down and... Yeah, looking... Well, oh dear. We've gone back into the past. Go away. Stop. Come back. Come back. There we go. And what else do I want to do? Oh yeah, let's try this. So I'll select that one and that one and that one. There's another one in between, is there? No. Do that. Smooth the ground and the selector and see how that pans out. That doesn't look great. That one, just that one. Smooth the ground and selected. Oh no, settle on the ground. Maybe I have to increase the splines on this. Insert. Yes, okay. I'm going to try this. Insert spline points here. Now that split that into 2 splines. Settle on ground. No? Smooth ground and selected. No? No, well, I'm, again, trying things. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to bring this a little bit further forward. I'll bring this to just near the bridge, I think. Trainz, tornado. Let's go for the actual... Yeah, let's go for that consist, that colour. It's a little further than I'd want. Go back. Actually, if it's, yeah, just through here. There we go. That looks good. Okay. And with that, I am going to end this video. This has been a look at the Surveyor tool for Trainz. Smooth ground under selected. That's working. This has been a look at the Surveyor tool for Trainz Plus and Trainz Railroad Simulator 2022, I believe, also has this. So hopefully that's given you a look, a decent look. As I said, it does have a steep learning curve, but it is kind of useful in many ways. It can modernize. You saw that in an hour I've modernized this particular tile, which isn't much, but I've done something, and that's better than I suppose, doing nothing. One thing I could have done, let's have a look at these signals, shall we? I wonder if there are some modern signals to do as well. I'm getting distracted by things, but it's important. BR, track objects, is that not? Okay, signal? I've got the boards. What do these boards look like? Where is the board? I don't know where the board is. Well, all right, doesn't matter. Signal, semaphore. How do I... There's a semaphore. Let's have a look at it compared to... Oh, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, these are all the same. Okay. It's nice to see that they just work. They appear to be old and might need redoing. Potentially. Maybe there are new ones that I have not yet seen. Well, that's fine. Okay, back to actually doing what I was supposed to be doing, and that is ending the video. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Trainz Plus. Leave a comment in the comments box below. Let me know what you think. Is this something you would do? Is a surveyor something that you would use? If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Trainz Plus, where I'm going to go see if I can try out one of the Pro Trainz routes. It won't be in the UK. I think they do mainly American routes. They might have a couple of German routes as well. I'll have to have a look. But I'm going to try out one of them, and I want to see what the detailing is like in that and how it runs on my PC. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thank you once again, and I'll see you next time.